Hey friends, how you doing? It's Gina here. I am asking the question, what could be more important than confidence? But before I go there, I want to give you a little bit of useless trivia about me. Growing up, my nickname was Sleeping Beauty, and it came from the fact that my parents could put me in the back of the car, drive around the block to get milk, and I would be passed out. Apparently, I could sleep anytime, anywhere. Still true to this day. Reflecting though on the story of Sleeping Beauty, I can remember being a little kid and I would sit down in my bedroom cross-legged with the little book, The Story of Sleeping Beauty. And at the very back page, it had that flap for the vinyl, the little record. And I'd place it on my little record player and it would read me the story of Sleeping Beauty. Does anybody else remember this? I'm dating myself here. Say you remember. But I remember reading this story, and humor me if you know this or if you don't, but it's the story of this princess being born, and these three fairies come down to bestow their wishes and blessings upon the princess. Fauna, Flora, and Merryweather. So Fauna gives her the gift of beauty. Flora gives her the gift of song, so she could sing like a nightingale. Very valuable. But worst of all was Merryweather, who gives her the gift of disempowerment. And she basically says, look, at some point, this witch is going to come along, you're going to be cursed, you're going to pass out, and the only way that you can wake up is if some dude falls in love with you and kisses you, right? So the ultimate gift of disempowerment. And I remember as a young child being so frustrated with the choice of these three gifts. I remember thinking to myself, of all the things that these fairies could bless her with, why didn't they give her the gift of like flying or give her the ability to talk to animals? I remember being so frustrated. And, this comes up in my life, as an educator and as a speaker and as someone who wants so much for you to live a life, an ignited life that you love. I'm always asking myself, I'm not your fairy godmother. However, I'm always asking myself, what is it that I can help you find within yourself that's really going to get you to that place where you're living the life of your dreams, or where you're really living a life of fulfillment and joy. And for the longest time, the answer for me was confidence. I thought if I could just instill confidence in my students, in my children, then I would have done a good job. I wanted them to have confidence in their public speaking. I wanted them to have confidence in the corporate world using their communication skills, and whether that's, talking to their employees or speaking up at a meeting. I thought confidence would trump everything. But I have a different feeling now. I've come to believe that confidence is actually overrated. And here's my thought process on this. Confidence is valuable to a point, but I think on a spectrum, you can even be too confident. We all know that overly confident person who walks in the room and they're like, hey, right? So they can be obnoxious and they're definitely overcompensating for something. So there's this level of confidence that's healthy. But here's the real reason. Confidence, while valuable, it's something that builds over time. It's something that you get because you've repeatedly done an action successfully. So for example, put me in the kitchen with some olive oil and some random ingredients, and I'm confident that I could make you a delicious meal because I've done it so many times. I've developed that muscle or that skill, and I know that I can do it. Put me in a room full of people, and I'm confident that I could speak to them and I could make them laugh and we can build rapport and I could teach them a skill and they'll walk away feeling really good about themselves because I've done it for so long, so many times. I have a level of confidence about that. So we all have something that we're confident in, but it's not something you wake up in the morning and feel confident. And we don't feel confident about doing something the very first time. It's something that you build. It's a muscle that you build over time. What trumps confidence, in my opinion, and where I've really switched gears in my work and in my understanding and even in my own life, is that more important than confidence is courage. Courage is something that you can't just build over time. Courage is something that in that moment, in the face of fear, in the face of potential failure, in the face of the unknown, in the face of vulnerability, in the face of looking like a total ass, you still step up to the plate and you make a decision to take action. Courage is more important than anything else, in my humble opinion. And while I'm not your fairy godmother, if I were to bestow anything, a blessing on you, it would be courage. Because you can't feel confident about doing anything the very first time. You got to build that. But courage, it takes deep courage to go for what you want. It takes deep courage to be vulnerable and open yourself up to love in a relationship. It takes deep courage to stand up and tell the truth. It takes deep courage to look someone in the eye and speak what's in your heart. It takes deep courage to create art. It takes deep courage to create music and put it out there for people to see. And so if I were to wish anything for you, if I could be your fairy godmother for just one day, I would wish for you, my friends, deep courage, because I think it trumps everything else. Peace out. Let me know what you think. Bye for now.